Hey guys! In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a flowy blush from Undertale. This is the one I've done for my sister. This is a test of my pattern. Basically I just made up a pattern and tested it on this one and it come out pretty well for me, so I'm going to show you guys how to make one yourself, and I'm going to change the face on my one because I want one with the angry evil face. It was pretty easy to make. I would say this is a good plushie to start with for beginners because the pieces are very simple. There's only 3 template pieces that I've got for this and it's very basic. I hope this tutorial is helpful to you, and if you have any questions feel free to put a comment in the comment section or you can message me. Okay, so here are the 3 pieces that I have for Flowey. This is the round bit for the face, the stalk, and then you've got 12 cutouts for the petals. I'll put the dimensions of this template on a photo in this video. I basically just sketched a circle, sketched a petal, and this sort of rectangular shape. But if you follow the sizes I put, it should be easy to sketch out. Okay, so I start with the petals because there's so many pieces of them that it takes ages to cut out, so I like to get it out of the way first. I use yellow fleece, which I get from BST Fabrics, and I'll link that in the description. And you just pin your pattern to the fabric and cut it out with fabric scissors. And then once you've cut out one with the paper, use the fabric pattern, pin that to your fabric and use that as template instead because it's more flexible. Now for the centre of Flowey, for his round white top bit, I use Coloursoft Minky fabric, and I get this from Rooftop Fabrics. I think it's just nice to have, because this is so soft, it's nice to have just that extra soft bit on a plush when you make one. Okay, so here are all your pieces. All you need to do now is just arrange them how you'd like, see what it looks like when you put them together, and then you can start pinning them together. Okay, so now all you do is you just pin them the way that you'd want to sew them. So for example, if you're using Minky for the middle bit, you need to pin the soft sides down, have the rougher side on top. So when you turn it inside out, you'll have the soft side on the outside. So all you're going to do is on the machine sew down this side and this side. The petals, leave a gap here, sew around, and for the middle bit, sew around also, leaving a gap at the end so that we have space to turn them inside out. Okay, so now all you need to do is just turn these pieces inside out. Use a chopstick to help turn them out properly because these aren't going to be stuffed, so you need to make sure that they're fully turned inside out so you can get the proper shape of the petal right. This one we are going to stuff, and the stalk we're going to stuff too, so just the chopstick will help you get stuffing in as well as turning it inside out. Now what we need to do is stuff this little white circle bit. When it comes to stuffing the stalk, what I do is I put wire in it. I got this wire from eBay, and then I just use some pliers to help straighten it out and help cut off a size that's fine. And I put the wire in my stalk before I stuff it. I tried stuffing it and putting the wire through it once, but it just wouldn't go through the stuffing, so I do it this way. Now you've stuffed your pieces, you need to ladder stitch the top of this circular piece together so that you'll just have the round circle for the middle of the flower. You have to tie a knot at the end of your thread to to make sure that it doesn't come undone. What you do is you go in to the fabric from the inside so that then you can slot the end of the thread down into the stuff in there. And then you go into the other side like that and keep going back and forth until you close the seam. Okay, so now once you've come to the end of your stitching, you just need to go into the other side like that, put your needle through the loop, then again, but go into the loop from the other side. That creates a knot at the end of that stitch, so then your stitching shouldn't come undone. And then I just go in and come out far away from the seam, so that if the stitching does happen to come undone, your thread will be well into the stuffing and shouldn't fall out. And just plump up your circle, and you have the middle bit for Flowey. So now you have the bit for the middle of Flowey. You need to position the petals. I don't ladder stitch these up, and I pin them on straight and ladder stitch them on straight to his middle part. Like that. And then I pin them a bit closer so that they fold around the middle part, just so that I know I have them in place. Now that these are all pinned on, I ladder stitch, and I ladder stitch down to the middle, and then I go around the middle several times. So once you get to the middle, you just have to make sure that all the points and that are folded down. And you just have to go several times, go around all the points, looping them all together, making sure it's nice and tight. Once you've gone around all the points several enough times, go to the next one that you've done. So the one you've already sewn, go to the one next to it. Go in from the middle and then come out near the end where you need to start your next seam along the next line of petals, and just continue with the ladder stitch all the way round until you've done all the petals. Okay, so now you've sewn all your petals on, what I do is, where these pins are, I fabric glue them just around here to make them curl round the head a little bit more, and then I'm going to glue the side bits, but I'll show you how to do that in detail when I get to those bits, so I'll just glue around here first. So just using an old paintbrush, I use both the thick end and the little end. Don't want to ruin any of your nice paintbrushes with this glue, because it really does wreck your brush. Just get some glue on your brush and paint it on. Sometimes I find it easier just to like spray it on, especially with this bit, so you can do that as well if you like. So once you've glued those bits, what you need to do, if your petals seem to be like kind of folding inwards a bit, just rub them a little bit like that to rounding them out a bit. And then what I do, so I take the end of the paintbrush, put some glue, just you've got to be careful because it's very stringy, so you don't want to spill it in any other parts of the plush because it won't come off. And then just paint it on in the sort of this where your seam is, and then just push it together and then hold it for like however long you think until it's gonna stay. Usually hold it for like a few seconds, about 30 seconds maybe. And then I'll continue doing this all the way around the petals. So once you've done that and the glue's dry, you need to put the stalk on. You just pin on it right in the middle, so where all your messy stitching is, where you attached all the petals together, you're just going to put the stalk on right over the top of that. So if your stitching was messy there, don't worry about it. And we're just going to ladder stitch this on. Okay, so once you've sewn on your stalk, you need to fill this end bit. I didn't make a pattern for this because it was just too small. So what I do is I just get the green fabric that you used, just place your stalk and just cut sort of a square box around your stalk. And then just cut a little circle out around it. So you see where the corners are, you can just sort of cut a circle from the box that you measured from the bottom of him. And then that will fit on there, like that. Just poke a pin, stick it into the stuffing, and it'll stay there. And then just ladder stitch that on. Don't make these hard edges on show. Kind of fold them inwards to each other like that, so that then you have a kind of folded edge, so there's no harsh edges. So now the last thing to do is the face, and how I do this is I just cut out black wool felt and I just glue that on with fabric glue for the face. This is probably the hardest part because it's very fiddly to get all the details right, but I feel that this way looks most effective for Flowey. As you can see for this one, I used a bit of white felt as well for the mouth. You will need to use a reference for his face because it's very difficult to do. But you feel free to copy mine if you want to do this face. But for this one, I'm going to do an angry face. So once you've cut out your fabric features, you just need to glue them on with your fabric glue using your paintbrush that you used for the petals earlier. And then your Flowey plush is done. So that is the end of my tutorial. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope that you will enjoy making your Flowey plushies. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments.